Hi, and welcome to Little Creations for the Cricut. My name is Crystal, and today I want to give you a short tutorial on these little designer purses. Now this is not my idea. I got this idea from Cupcake Creations by Mona Pendleton. It's a wonderful tutorial, and I'll have the link on my blog so you can go check it out. What I'm going to go through today is a smaller version of the purse. I loved this idea, but I needed to make 190 of them for a women's retreat. So I needed to make them smaller. Something just big enough to hold a little piece of candy and a Bible verse. So I set myself on a mission to figure out how to take it from this to this, and I figured it out. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is cut out our little box that's going to hold our candy bar and our verse or whatever type of thing that you're going to be putting in it. And how I did that was using my Accent Essentials cartridge, and Mona goes over this in the tutorial. I chose the shadow or the blacked out square on page 60 of my Accent Essentials cartridge. Now you'll see in her tutorial that it's important for you to press the shadow button, the real dial size, and the shift button when you're doing this project. I'm simply going to, now I played a little bit with my size a couple different times to see which one was the better size, and I came to find that 5 inches was just perfect. So I'm going to move my inch dial to 5, or my dial to 5 inches. I'm going to press the shape that I would like. Make sure, there we go. Wait for it to come up. There it is. Make sure my blade is set at a 5. Make sure my speed is on max and my pressure is on max, and we're ready to cut. Okay, now that I have my square cut out, I needed to score it in the places that it's going to be folded. So the first thing I did was I scored it vertically on each side here at 3/4 of an inch. Secondly, I turned it and scored it again here, and I measured in at 2 1/4 and 3 inches, and that's where I made my marks and I did my score. After I scored it, I went ahead and cut where the lines were perpendicular on the middle on each side. Whoops, that one did not quite cut all the way through, so there we go. Okay, and the next thing we do is simply fold our box so that we can begin gluing. So I'm folding now. Yes, you can use your score tool. You can use something like this to do your folding. I probably should be. Okay, now we are ready to glue our box. And simply to glue it, I just put my glue on each little middle tab here and on the end tab here. I use the Scotch ATG gun. It's a glue gun. I love it. It happens to be, I think, one of the best adhesives on the market, and it's a great investment, and I just encourage anybody out there that if you want a really good glue machine that's going to hold your work and you're not going to have to worry about it falling apart or coming apart, then this is the buy. Okay. Okay. My glue needs to be cut. Okay. Now we simply just stick our sides together. And voila! We now have, now in Mona's tutorial, she teaches you how you cut 3 basic frame shapes out of Accent Essentials. Well, again, I needed to make mine different in the dimensions because I needed a much smaller purse. So what I did was on the biggest frame, I cut it out to 3 inches. And the pattern paper, which was my middle frame, I cut it 2 1/2. And then my smallest piece, I cut it 2 inches. One other thing that I did with my smallest piece was I embossed it using my Cuttlebug. Now in my Cuttlebug, I used the Tiny Bubbles folder. I love this folder. I know it's called Tiny Bubbles, but it just makes me think of reptiles. I think it's neat. Anyway, so here is my front of my purse, and you make 2 of these so that you have a front and a back. And one of the things that Mona will show you is that you have to cut off the top so that it's flat and your purse top can then cover over. Now, the next section of our purse that we have to work on is the top. I've already put this together to make the time go by quickly, but I will explain to you what I did. And again, you can get all the steps in Mona's tutorial. Again, I had to cut 3 circles to be the top of the purse, and I had to adjust my dimensions. My outside circle I cut at 3 3/4 inches. My middle circle I cut at 3 inches. Sorry, forgot. And my small circle I again cut at 2 inches, and again I embossed it with the tiny bubbles in my Cuttlebug. After that, I used my wonderful crocodile here and set it on my 1/8 inch of a hole and punched 2 holes in the top of my little purse here. And then I took 2 eyelets, put them in there, moved it over, and used my eyelet setter tool on my crocodile to set the eyelets in the top of the purse. And then I just simply added a nice piece of ribbon with some knots underneath to hold the purse in place. Okay, the last pieces that we have to do on the purse is we cut out 2 more little circles and we simply glue them together, and then you can stamp a sentiment or you can put an embellishment, whatever you would like. I chose to stamp this little butterfly. It's just a rubber stamp that I got at Michael's for $1, so nothing big. Now we can put our purse together. I've already glued on one side of my purse, one of my frames. Now the next thing you do is you glue on your second side. I've already put some glue on this piece with my ATG glue gun. I line it up. What I do is I'll stick my hand on the inside here and I kind of rub just to give it a good strong stick. I stand it up and make sure it'll stand. Next thing, I'm going to add my purse topper. Now I already have glue on here also. I line it up with the inside score line of the purse, of the topper. And then I again rub my hand in there. Now, to make sure that these purses are not going to fall apart or something's going to happen to make something fall apart, I just do one little extra step. I bought some black staples to go on my stapler because I was making 190 of these and I wanted to have a common color. And I simply just come down, let's make sure you can see it. I simply come down here towards that bottom part of the smallest circle and I staple. Now I have my circles stapled in to the box. I'm not sure if you can see that. Into the box and into the back frame. So there's no way this is going to come off. The next step you do is you add your little circles, double circle scallops, double circle, with the butterfly stamp onto the front. You simply just place it right here on the smallest circle. Press down, and I've already added my Velcro, and voila, the purse is done. Well, that's it for my first tutorial. I hope you liked it, and I hope you go and make a lot of these little purses. When I made these for the women's retreat, they were wonderfully received, and the women loved getting them. In fact, they had a lot of fun picking out which colors they wanted. I made pink, purple, blue, green, brown, orange. It was wonderful. In fact, here's another one that I have. They're very easy to make. They take less than 10 minutes to pop out really quick, and they're worth giving to that special woman in your life, your mom, your sister, your best friend. They're a lot of fun. So thank you, and make sure you go check out Mona's tutorial because it's wonderful. Thanks. God bless.